wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road. Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its feelings. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its feelings. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and holiness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its feelings. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and have its feelings. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up.
We are the place where God shows up. Thank you, Toya. This is our blessed Toya. And good morning to all of you, Unity of Gainesville. I am grateful that you have chosen to be with us this morning, whether online or here in person. It is always new, and yet it's always the same. For indeed, we always leave here with that sense of the unfailing inspiration and the centering that occurs as we rest in knowing the truth of our being. We are divine. There's excitement in the air. Can you feel it? And for those football fans, and for our community, and for our Reverend and Sally, no worries, the game doesn't start till the evening. And I'm not even a football freak, okay? But I do know that this is Super Bowl Sunday. It is, in fact, the 59th occurrence, and it is a rematch of two Titans, Philadelphia Eagles, and the current two-time champion, Kansas City Chiefs. And this is also the day in the week that we chose to celebrate a life, Edward Gilman. We cleared, we cleaned, we packed 5 areas, 5 rooms for our impending carpeting and flooring project. That's only in 1 week away, folks. And with the selfless support of our volunteers, we also, with the front office and the board members, compiled and emailed all the information for the annual congregational meeting. Please, a lot of effort goes into creating it. Please honor us by reading it. Even if you don't read the whole thing, open it. It's on your e-blast, it'll be on the website, it's come to you in your email, or it's come to you by snail mail, okay? And we did do a partial cleanup of our yard, at least to get rid of the dead plants that the freeze had taken. And finally, The Calming Man, that's Sally and Ryan co-produced, and Ryan directed, had such a successful run that they're extending it into Saturday, and I hear now Sunday matinees. And I want you to just stand or raise your hand if you participated in any of the above. Go. The whole church is going to show up. Gio, get your hand up. You were doing all of the mailing and the emailing. Come on, folks. I know who you are. I've been with you. And Bonnie, yes, thank you. And Sean and Steve, even. I got to just say, you folks showed up. All right, now, and I got to say, I show up because I love being here, all right? Here at the Unity of Gainesville, we recognize that in the midst of all life, one thing is constant, and that is our oneness, our interconnectivity with each other, with ourselves, and with the world around us, that interconnectivity of all life, regardless of appearances. Love unifies. As a courtesy, please turn off your phones. As a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones. Oh, put it in any mode you want as long as it's not bumping and making noises, okay? Are there any newcomers today? Yee-hoo! Let's just give her a welcome. And we also give her a packet. Ann, could you please give her a packet? We have a welcoming packet, and I hope that you recognize something here that you would like to come back to. Thank you for coming to check us out. And your name? Oh, we have a destiny. I heard you say that to me, and I thought it was a relationship to the AV not working today. I thought that was the destiny we were talking about. Okay, I am Rupali Robinson. The purpose that I have as a Sunday service leader is simply to keep things flowing. I am delighted to be here, and this is a face you know, but I'm sure you've noticed there are new faces up here, and I'm going to call another new one out that I am delighted to introduce. Bonnie Likes Bigler is going to be on for the last SSL of this month. As you know, we went with Stephanie was first, Melinda was second, and now Bonnie. Each of these I've been delighted to mentor and bring into the fold. Now we're going to go to the old way of doing our call and response, vision and mission, and core values. I will speak it, and you can speak it after me. Vision, centered in divine love and wisdom. We joyfully create a world united in positive spirituality. Our mission, through prayer, meditation, spiritual education and service, we put God's love into action. And our core values, we speak with we in front of it. We are spirit-led. We are love. We are generosity. We are grateful. And we are inclusive. And those are the reasons why I keep coming back.
Hey, y'all, what's going on? What's up? What's up? I said, what's up? Destiny, you ain't know this was a party in here, okay? I turn into a DJ on Sunday mornings. What's going on, y'all? Welcome.
And last night.
And last night. So at Unity, what we often do, instead of doing an invocation, which is praying for God to come on in, we do what's called an evocation. An evocation. And what that simply means is we're not going to pray that God comes down and hopefully visits. We're not knocking on the door and saying, God, look how good we are. We're worthy of your presence. In fact, in this space, we acknowledge that not only was God already here, God showed up because we are here. We are here. And so when I hit the gong, I invite you to take a cleansing breath. So we hit the gong for the first time, acknowledging that there is only oneness. And that God, that source, that substance has many, many names. And depending on our culture and our language, but in this space, we just say love. We hit the gong a second time as a reminder that, yes, there is only love. And guess what? We are the expressions, the music, the articulation of that love. We are the activity of what we call God. We hit the gong a second time as a reminder of our divinity. Not anything we have to claim so it is so, it just is. And so we hit the gong for that reminder. And we hit the gong a third and final time as a reminder that, yes, there is only love. There is only oneness. There is only source and substance. And yes, we are the activity. We're the movement, the music of that source. And yet, we got bills, we got Super Bowls, we got traffic, we got text messages. This is a reminder to bring all of the truth of who we are into our activity. And so it is. Another thing we do here at Unity, we acknowledge that when one of us is celebrating, we're all celebrating. So question, do we have any birthdays this week? Any birthdays that happened this week? Okay. All right, we still young, okay. Do we celebrate any anniversaries, any kind of milestones? Y'all been dating for 7 months, you know, whatever it is. Okay. And lastly, in our community, many of us are moving through healing journeys in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's a physical body, and sometimes we are moving through the healing of loss. And so this week, we celebrated Edward, and we know that Christina is now a part of many of our experiences where we've lost loved ones. So if this was a week where you said, you know what, I needed a little extra love, just kind of wave your hand if you're thinking about a loved one. Okay, we see you. We see you. So for those of us who are seated, what I want you to do is I want you to open your hands, and there were a waving that happened around you. I want you to extend your hands to those around you. And here at Unity, we acknowledge that we are the activity of what we call love. And so right now, we're sending love. I want y'all to look around. Just look around. See all this love that's coming at you. See these hands as the activity of love. And so for those of us who waved our hands, I want you to simply say, repeat after me, we see you. We know you for who you truly are. God in expression. We walk with you. We celebrate you. And we wrap our arms around you. So, typically we would light this oneness candle, but we got some technical difficulties, but I'm lighting this candle symbolically, acknowledging all of our oneness. And the second thing, that's right, it just needs a little oil. And I'm lighting this red candle because for these past several weeks, we have been honoring the root chakra. Can we say root? I want y'all to look down at your articles of clothing. If you have red on, just kind of raise your hand. I see you, Danling. If you got red on, yep. That might have felt like it was by accident, but if you got red lipstick, you got red on, okay? Right? So something called you to that red, right? Olive even brought in a red stroller. Yes, I see you, Destiny. So something about that red was just, Nancy, I see a little red on your shirt. Something about that red just called to us. And I'm here to acknowledge what feels like a random, okay, yeah, that's, okay, sure, why not? That's actually all of us being in community, in connection, right? An example is, and Deepak Chopra writes about this, he said, when you're thinking about somebody and they call, that's not a coincidence. That's not like, oh, whoa, it's such a coincidence. I was thinking about you and then you call. What Deepak Chopra says is, that is a miracle. That is what's called the spontaneous fulfillment of desire. That desire was so intense, you were thinking about somebody and they call. We are creators. We are co-creators with God, right? And so the fact that y'all randomly put on red, just know that that's a thing. It's a miracle. Okay, I'm done. Welcome, y'all.
In one hand, yes. We should leave it where it belongs. My mother and father taught me there was a place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, so I get now to just simply do the anchoring thought. As Ryan was saying, we are following this idea of the root chakra, which is about grounding. It is about stability. It is our foundation of the essential practice of our spiritual growth, a foundation from which all other aspects of our nature grow. And so the quote that has come through Reverend Ryan for our focus for these 7 weeks is from Carolyn Mace. Therein lies the universal truth that puts us on equal footing. Each of us must come to discover through many life experience And so at this point, I'm going to shift to the community highlights and offer this to Christina. We've referenced that Edward's celebration ceremony was this week.
I just want to thank everybody for being here on Thursday, either in person or in spirit. And it was just a beautiful sharing. You know, my family, none of them are churchgoers. But they said, that is a great church. They really appreciated your support. Yeah. So thank you so much. And for those who worked with the food and with the preparation. And I'm not holding it up high enough. Can you hear? So again, thank you all so much.
And as we know, the journey is just beginning. So now is the time for us to be in that place of open-hearted awareness that we are here to be of service, Christina. And I speak it as an I for Rupali because she and I live in the same community. Yeah. Moving on to another community highlight. As the board liaison to the grounds and to the building, I have had the great opportunity to be one of the point people for this project called the Flooring and Carpeting. We're calling it the Operation New Flooring, coined by our beloved Melinda. I want to just say that the way that you showed up, already is phenomenal. And I also want to call your attention to the fact that on the table in the gathering room by the door, there is an update that also came through your e-blast and website on this project, and there is also a calendar that identifies the weekends. What I need to say is that the Saturdays are half of the bookend. One bookend is to undo an area, and the other bookend is to replace the area. Then you undo an area, and then you reform and put everything back. So those dates are the critical dates. February 16th, we need to undo the sanctuary so it's ready on the 17th on Monday. And all those details, there'll be a team here helping you with that. On the 22nd, we'll be replacing everything. When you go to February 23rd, we have a Sunday service. So on Sundays, we have to have this area ready for services. So the 22nd is to get us ready for service. The plants have to go, the chairs have to go. You've got to understand there's still clearing to do. The mystery of this project has been that we've had to function and be available at the same time as we've had to clean, strip, and clear. So it's a very interesting mystery to do both things at the same time. And it's just piecing it out. So those dates are very clear on that visual calendar. I think my core issue, if I had one, is to have enough help on the Saturdays, because that's not a day we normally show up. And Saturdays are all the reset days. Finally, we do have an annual meeting on February 23rd. And that annual congregational meeting is the time for your voice to be made. It is the time where you are presented to 3 new candidates, and those candidates are going to be, only 2 of them, brought forward to be on the new board. This is natural flow. Nothing is wrong. This is how the structure in the bylaws is. 2 people rotate off each year. And so this year we are so blessed. We have Kate Brigman, Celeste Kroll, and Penta Rose as our candidates. And I want to say a shout out to Nancy, who's the chair. I'm simply a liaison. And she's done a magnificent job. Please come. Your vote is your voice. And it is that time where you get to speak your heart and mind. It is also the time where Reverend Ryan gives you a State of the Union of what good we have accomplished and what good we intend to create. And it is also the time where you get to dialogue with the board members as well and just say, this is working, and this is what I'd like to see. But this is the time to come. So this is February 23rd, is an annual congregational meeting. Annual means we only do this one time a year. Please come. Last thought, we're going to feed you. We'll have some pizza for you. It's from Pompadoro's. It's great pizza. If you don't like pizza, bring your own. Please also consider the idea of bringing your napkin, your utensils, your plate, something that would allow you just to be self-sufficient and allow us not to have to work with the kitchen because we have stripped the kitchen. I mention those as well as just thinking of it in this way of saying the lift system thanks you, those who track the financials thank you, and those stalwart folks who stay to the very end, they thank you. So please just consider it as a way to be in support of the greater community. The other announcement that we wanted to mention was the Helping Hands, which is the name of our volunteer group now, and it is on Facebook. And we had hoped that if, with our IV, we could have shown that. And survey, I believe we have handled finally. And I think that I was asked also to mention the meditation in the morning. I have been coming to the morning meditation since they started. They start at 9. We go 9 to 10 with the meditation, and then there's a space between, and we start the service at 11. But please know that those are so sweet and such a place of for me, steadying a sense of emptying, a sense of spaciousness. Please come and join us as we meditate to center, to open ourselves to the greater good. At this point, I'm going to move into what we call the daily word slash.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick.
I think, yeah, I was just trying to see where you're going to do that. Yeah.
A couple of quick announcements. I want to say thank you, a deep thank you to everybody who showed up on Thursday for Christina, right? And those of us who tried our best to be here, but, you know, life and work got in the way. But the kind of representation we have from our community was exactly how we do it. And so I shared already that when Edward was taking his last breaths, what Christina brought to me was her genuine concern that she would be alone. And I told Christina and I told Edward that she got us. I said, oh, no, you got nothing to worry about. And Christina acknowledges that Edward, he released, right? And we showed up on Thursday, and we have continued to show up for Christina. And I want to say thank you to everybody, and I want to acknowledge that there are many of us who are at different stages of where Christina is now beginning, right? So let's not forget those of us who are at different points of our journey. And as we know with grief, there isn't like a finish line, right? Sometimes there's something that triggers and then boom, you feel like you're at day one. And so I just want to call on all of us to lift each other up, but it always feels a deep sense of pride when we show up like that. We had people bringing food, we had people, it was a whole team effort. But thank you so much, everybody, for that. Just one brief thing is this. So one of the lessons I've learned, and believe it or not, y'all, I've only been minister here since September. It feels like it's been so much longer just because I've been in this community. But one of the most powerful lessons I learned is over communicating, right? So it's okay to say a thing, it's okay to email a thing, it's okay to check in. But what's important is to make sure we're on the same page. And one thing that I haven't checked in with our community about is our time, right? So for the 3.5 years that Sally and I have come to Unity, we've had a hard stop at noon, right? And so what that typically means is, and Rupali reminded me of this. I remember when Reverend Betty, at 11:40, the talk was done, all right? So if you look at the time now, we're about 11:30, right? So a year ago, about this time, we were coming in for a landing with our talk, right? And so all that means is as we grow, as we expand, as we ask more of our community, I'm asking just a little more patience in terms of how we roll out. So our intended goal is to be completely wrapped up by 12:20, right? And so I already talked to Ms. Gwen, so we got a little system we're going to be experimenting. So as we're in these early months of Reverend Ryan taking the helm, we're going to be bumbling and moving along. But I do want to acknowledge some of the concern about people saying, hey, things are different. We're not out of here at noon anymore. What's going on? So there's that. But the other part of that announcement is this. Y'all, when you go home, do you ever second guess when you should leave or come? No, it's your home. When you go and visit family for a holiday, right? Do we apologize for showing up late? Yeah, sometimes. And often we want to stay longer, but if we have to go, we got to catch a flight, we got to do a thing, we go. So I want to just remind all of us that this is home. This is all of our chosen family. And so if at any point, if something's going on and you got to roll out, listen, we love you and we hug you, and there's no apologies needed, all right? And I want to call out Sean real quick. Sean, wave your hand. Yes, Sean, you. That's Sean. Okay, so Sean is in his doctorate program, all right? and my man is rocking it. But literally by noon, Sean and Bonnie are out of here, right? And that's okay. And there are going to be times when many of us, we just got to roll out. Sometimes we might roll in late, whatever late means, and we might roll out early, whatever early means. But I just want to give us space to know that this is our community. And we've all come through traditions where there's locked and hard rules in terms of how the metric is supposed to go. It's on a metronome. This space is flow. This is flow. And so I want to, yes, okay. I love you, Gio. Gio was like, that deserves an applause, okay? This is flow. And so what flow looks like, we're going to collectively release the burden of expectation. You know what I'm saying? There's an expectation for how we're supposed to show up, right? There's an expectation for how we're supposed to dress and all the stuff. And how we're supposed to talk and not talk, right? In this space, what I love about what we do, unity is not a religion, all right? This is not a religion, right? This is a spiritual community, a global, inclusive, spiritual community where all faith walks are welcome. So how do we do that? Our religion is love. Love permeates all the ritual, and rituals are beautiful, but love permeates all of it. And so however it shows up, we are in here flowing. Can I hear everybody say, we flow? We flow. Yes, we flow. Okay? So if y'all got a 12 o'clock hard out, listen, y'all do what y'all got to do. And is Althea here? So Althea, as y'all know, she assembles a core group that goes to get food after service. And then there are other little pop-ups that happen. There's offering refreshments after service. You know, y'all, listen, we are flowing. I invite you to flow into the bookstore. It's so much growth that's happening here. And how we show up for each other is just being in that pocket of flow. Is that okay? All right, I said it.
Oh, wow. This is the moment where either the daily word or a reading is held. It's also the point where, because Ryan and I and the SSLs had already talked a bit about timing. So this is going to be, pray God, 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. As some of you know, I'm a reverend. I'm actually a reverend in what they call United Church of Christ, UCC. And so one of my favorite books, I never had an adversity to it, was what I call the text, the sacred text, the Bible. Hebrews 11:1. Faith, and most of you know this one, come on, think about it. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Many of you know this one. For me, faith is trusting in unseen forces to honor the level of hope and conviction held in consciousness to bring forth what I desire. I'm reminded of Johann Wolf von Goethe's quote, at the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. So in my late 60s, early 70s, I wanted on my bucket list so badly to go to Australia. And I've been solitary, single for many years. But I really wanted to do this. So I challenged myself to travel as I had a teenager. As a teenager, I just put a backpack, a ground cover, and a bedroll on my back and hitchhiked an entire summer across Europe with one other woman as my companion. No fear, total sense of freedom and possibility. So in my 70s, I wanted to challenge myself to do the same thing. Why am I limiting myself? But I didn't want to do it with the backpack on the ground. So I got spoiled and I got into Sydney with 2 nights of an Airbnb, out of Sydney with 1 night of an Airbnb, and then up the Gold Coast was my intention. I also was blessed to be trained in educational kinesiology. They were having a class for 3 weeks in Brisbane. That was my goal. In doing this, I thought I was getting a caravan. I thought I would be in the caravan taking care of my housing. I had it all planned out. No, the universe conspired to change it. Someone, the instructor of the course I was going to, called me and said, one of the participants has offered her home for 3 weeks for your course. And oh, by the way, she's going to come down and pick you up in Sydney, so don't worry about the transport. And then the next thing that happened was that I had only planned to go because of budgetary reasons for 4 weeks. And the next thing that happens is another participant introduces me to friends in New Zealand, and then I end up in Auckland, in northern New Zealand. I ended up paying for 3 nights of Airbnb, the entire 2 months of the trip. This is the universe conspiring for your greater good. I had it all planned out, but universe wanted to give me more. This is the opportunity we have to see what faith can truly mean, an unseen force that assures us that that which is not seen is much more powerful than that which is. Opening prayer. Oh, I do need to say that all my friends were very good. They were the chorus going, "You're too old. You're a woman. You can't travel alone. You're going across country. You're going to a new country. You don't know anyone. How are you going to get doctors?" And they forced me to get an iPad before I left because I did not even have a smartphone yet. And so, loving my friends, I still traveled like I had as a teenager.
All right. Thank you so much for that reminder, Rupali. All it takes is a little bit of faith, right? And we say faith like it's easy, but honestly, it actually is that easy, right? Okay, y'all, we're going to take a stand if we're able. We're going to stand if we're able. Get the blood flowing. Get the blood flowing. So here at Unity, our opening prayer looks a little bit strange if you come in here for the first time. So hang in there, Destiny. We got you. Okay. So what we want to do in this moment is there are people all over our planet, all over our country, in our community, in our families, in our circles, who could use a little bit of prayer. Who could use a little bit of prayer. And so because we are already in that divine flow, there's a name, a person, a community that's top of mind right now for the most random reasons. It could be the last person who you want to be thinking about, whoever. But there's somebody, a group, a family member, an estranged friend, somebody or some group of people at top of mind. What I want you to do is take a cleansing breath. And we're going to offer that name into this space. I want you to allow that name, those people, to roll off of your tongue. It could be barely audible. And what we're going to do is open our arms like this. This is a universal symbol of acceptance. And our prayers sound like this. In this divine moment, we say yes to our sacred yes, which is only see love. And right now, we affirm all those in our communities, in our hearts, in our minds, in our families, who are in need of this combustion of energy, this reminder that they are on their divine walk. May they feel it now. May they know that they are together and okay and taken care of and protected. May they get a jolt of energy that comes from what feels like nowhere. May they feel the spark of their inherent divinity now. We hold no judgment for where they are. We are released for any judgment we may hold. We forgive them. We offer them up with complete detachment, knowing that that oneness, that source that is only love, is enveloping them as they are now. We blow the lid off of this roof, and this love explodes beyond space and time. Those morsels and corners that need this love are now full, and we are whole. We breathe in assuredness because it is done. And we say, and so it is. We say, amen. We say, ashe. We say, aho. And we say, boom, there it is. You may have a seat. So y'all know, so when you pray, it's not a yearning, it's just like, boom, it's done. What you want to eat, right? It's done, it's done. Thank you, Toya.
Thank you. This beautiful song is called The Old Story by Trevor Hall. But all of it's in your head, holding on with both two hands. You gotta let go. Is it really you knocking at your own door? Always looking for something more. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Oh, no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. It's a start. Where you gonna run to if you gonna run from here? You're only running from your own fear. It'll catch up now. You gotta let it die. You gotta let it go in some way. Who will you be if you let it stay? I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Oh, no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. Oh, no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into miracle. Oh, no, no, no. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. It's a start.
Thank you so much, Toya. I was thinking, oh my goodness, we got to get Toya to do a concert. And then I remembered we have a concert coming up April 20th. So Toya, it's been such a gift to watch your voice blossom. And we've been able to experience it like right here at a front row seat. It's been a gift. Thank you so much, Toya. Thank you. I just realized Friday is Valentine's Day. Right? What's Valentine's Day about? Love. Cupid. And if you own the chocolate, and if you own the store, it's the opportunity to make more money. Okay? It always blows your mind at the end of Christmas. Like literally the day after Christmas, why are we already seeing Valentine's stuff? It's like clearly somebody's making money off of this. Right? And then we buy into it and we say, okay, it happens to Sally now all the time. It's like, okay, but happy Valentine's Day. We want to be above the holidays, but it just, you can't help but say yes to it. You can't help but say yes to it. Our centering thought today is actually coming from Tasha Silver's book. It's called, It's Not Your Money. It's Not Your Money. And the whole premise of the book is how to live fully from your divine abundance. How to live fully from your divine abundance. And so in the later part of the book, she talks about detachment. She talks about detachment. And what she talks about is if we have a desire that is intense enough, that desire is bundled up with preconditions, and then what bursts forth are preferences. So while it started off as something pure, right? I want a new home for me and my family. I want a loving relationship. Whatever the desire is, it's pure. But as that desire intensifies, because it's not met with what we call time, we then compound it and suppress that thing, and we inform it with years, dare I say lifetimes, of how things should be. So if y'all think about a container, and in that empty vessel, there's a desire. And what we put into that container is, it never works out the way I wanted to, they owe me, money isn't tight, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I still desire it. We're putting into that pot, with that desire, the other stuff. And then we take that pot, and then that becomes the manifestation. Not the thing that we actually desired. Does that make sense? And so what Tasha Silver talks about is when we're living from a true place of abundance, knowing that abundance is actually all around us, right? We're not thinking about air right now, but like, honestly, y'all, air is pretty abundant, right? We don't even think about it. Let's consider that. What if we're able to attach our finances to that level of, I'm not even thinking about it? Now we talking. Am I making sense? What if we could attach whatever it is that we desired to that it just is? Now, of course, it took time. And some of us have experienced some crazy things, right? I remember one time we were doing a camping trip, and I was swimming, and I saw somebody. I was like, oh, yeah, let me act like I'm a lifeguard. And then we out there, and my head submerges a little bit too far. I get water all up in my nose. I'm like slapping the water, and I'm like, oh, air. You don't appreciate air until it's not there. Right? Am I making sense? We don't fully appreciate how abundant air is until that ability is constricted. Not until we have an oxygen tank. And I love it, y'all, because I was talking about air. Some of us took deep breaths. Yes, let's take a deep breath. Let's acknowledge that is there. And that's just one example in nature, the way abundance shows up. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Because we're co-creators with God, that abundance shows up in other areas of our life, right? That abundance shows up in the ways in which we actually don't want it to. We start creating laws for ourselves. So there's a book, I mention it often, it's called How to Play the Game of Life, right, by Florence Scovel Shinn. It was published in the early 1910s. She was a contemporary with Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who were the founders of Unity. All of them. It's all New Thought, right? And it was called New Thought because that was a community in which they were teasing out these deep ideas of Eastern religions and Western thought and philosophy. And they were in these salons just talking. And they labeled it New Thought. But it's actually ageless wisdom. And in that ageless wisdom, there's a thing called desire. And that desire, if it's not kept pure, you actually start creating that which you wish not to experience. One of our core tenets is that God is I am. Because God is, I am. Don't get me cussing up in here, right? I am the blank, right? I'm the, you know it, okay? Because God is, I am. And so we are so locked into that creative capacity that even with that pure desire, we may be creating the very thing we wish not to experience. So y'all, it's some fun little treats coming up in the next couple weeks. We got Reverend Marcy. Reverend Marcy, can you raise your hand? Yes. If y'all don't know her, you're going to find out in a couple weeks. So Reverend Marcy has been coming for the past couple years, and so she's going to be doing a special talk. And so we got a little treat going for you. And then the treat that is here today for sure is my mama. Mom, can you raise your hand? Yes, okay. That's my mama, okay? And so you know it's real when mama show up, okay? So if y'all didn't know, as Rupali mentioned it, Sally and I, we have a production company, and we produced a play that's happening right now. And so Mom was like, I'm coming. I'm like, Mom, you don't have to. She's like, I'm coming, right? So that's Mama Love. She's going to show up, okay? Yes. And so it's something to be up here with y'all and then to see my mom right there. So I got to tighten up, okay? I got to tighten up. But as I was thinking this morning, what a gift to be able to fully stand in the things she saw my whole life. When I was a kid, I say it during my ordination, but when I was a kid, without fail, they would hand me the mic and say, Rye can pray, give it to Rye. Give the mic to Rye. That was my nickname. And y'all, I would get the mic and I would cry. Every single time I would cry. And my older sister would swoop in, take the mic, and say the prayer. And y'all, this would happen everywhere. It would happen in the middle of church, right? And sometimes, if you caught me on a good day, I could say my cute little one-sentence prayer and not cry, but that was only on a good day. But somehow, our family saw something in me. They saw, oh, Rye's gonna be a pastor. And I was like, no way. No. And so as life happens, here we are, okay? Here we are. What I'm saying is, sometimes there are things that you cannot run from. You could try, but it's gonna catch you. It's gonna catch you. right? There are spiritual gifts that all of us have in this room. Now, the ability to create community, that's a gift. The ability to talk to people, and I've seen Sally do it all the time. I want to be in the corner and kind of chill, but she goes out and extends herself to like find connections with people. That is a gift. There are gifts of pure service. There are people in our community who don't want to be mentioned, but they are doing some serious work behind the scenes. That's a healing. That's healing touch. That is a spiritual gift. Right? All I'm saying is that offering, that thing that we do without thinking, that, oh yeah, I don't even think about doing that. That gift, you are ready to receive. Now, are we mindful about what we're receiving? Our planet, our universe, nature is giving us examples of a circuit, right? What we put out, like a boomerang, we're ready to catch it. So if we're giving our service, we have put out into the universe the pure potential to create whatever we desire. And if we're not careful, we put out goodness, but in our co-creative act, we might be creating stress. We don't want stress. We don't want anxiety. We don't want concern about whatever it is we're going through. But if we're not mindful about what we're putting out, and dare I say, mindful about what we're taking in, we get on this loop. So Tasha Silver, in this book, It's Not Your Money, what she's offering us is money is just one little sprinkle on this massive cake, right? Money is just one iteration in which that abundance shows up. And I'm here to offer that we can have so much more if we allow. So, quick story. In the play that we're directing, a core tenet of the story is about a dad and his inability to forgive. And because he's not able to forgive and let go, that pain that he feels is suppressed and it erupts. So the tiniest thing triggers it. So if the mop water wasn't dumped, if that bucket of water was still there from when it was cleaned, that was a trigger. Right? Another trigger that happens is his son, who actually he refuses to acknowledge as his blood, reaches out for a hug, and he's unable to extend that hug. So what if we're not looking at it with a spiritual lens? We see somebody who is mean. We see somebody who we can't deal with. We see somebody who, you know what, I don't got time for this. That's what we see. But if we look at it from a spiritual perspective, we actually see brokenness. We see a yearning for love. We see a yearning for acceptance. But here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. That brokenness, that yearning for acceptance, that what appears to be meanness is a creative act. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So if we're on the receiving end of somebody who's mean and we want to cut that off, that meanness, that bitterness, that vitriol that's coming from that person, that is a creative act. In the same way that we may choose love, we may choose to hug, we may choose to crack a joke, we may choose to be here for somebody in their time of need. That's a creative act in the same way that somebody who can't help it but just have a mean disposition, that is a creative act. The reason why love transcends language, the reason why we can utter different sounds and it be phrased as different languages, yet love permeates all of it, is because love transcends language. I'm here to remind us that what we see is hardly ever the full story. What we're experiencing from somebody is hardly ever a oops. And we get a chance to determine how we experience the world around us. So if we send out love, if we send out hope, if we send out possibility, and if we feel like we're receiving, we can't get a break, money is tight, I never get treated right, it's a creative act, everybody. That's some hard truth. Now, in this space, I'm reminding us that we have complete control over the journey in which we live. We don't have to yearn for things to change outside of ourselves. We don't have to pray outside of ourselves and say, "Dear God, please help." Why? Why don't we have to yearn outside of ourselves? Please, God, divine love, whatever name you want to use. Why don't we have to pray outside of ourselves? All of what you said is right. Right? The thing is, y'all, this is simply a reminder. Quick quiz. When y'all eat, generally, are you hungry when you eat? Sometimes, you know, sometimes, right? Social custom, sometimes we eat, right? When you're ready for that meal, are you hungry? Oh, yeah. When you're ready for that meal, you hungry, okay? What happens when you're ready for the meal and then that time comes and you haven't eaten? What happens next? Cranky. We get mad. Hangry, right? So on one end of the spectrum, we could kind of be hungry and, yeah, you know, I'm okay. I could wait. Oh, I'm okay. What do you want to eat? If you don't really know what you want to eat, you're not that hungry, okay? And then we get to that middle pocket where we're hungry, but it's like, okay, I probably got another 30 minutes before my personality changes, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, I need to eat now, and you got to go back and apologize to people. Monica, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, right? I didn't mean what I said. I was just hungry, right? At that phase, am I making sense, y'all? So there are phases of our hunger. That's our physical state. Guess what, y'all? Our spiritual state is the same. Our spiritual state is the same. What makes us think we can meditate one time a week, say that quick prayer, whatever we might want to say, and we just going to be cool? What makes us think that we don't have to be reminded of the divinity of who we are? What makes us think, okay, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but we don't have a chef. Not yet. One day. We don't have a chef. Do y'all have a chef? I mean, some of y'all lying. One of y'all got to cook. Okay, I see you, Bonnie. Bonnie said, Paul's my chef. Okay? Yes, so many of us don't have chefs. So it's not like we could say, oh, I'm ready to eat, and then boom, here's the food. Oh, I think I might want to try some Thai cuisine. Yeah, I'll be ready for it at 4 p.m. No, that's not how it works. And the same thing in our spiritual development. It's not like we can just call up, yeah, all right, things are okay. I'm ready to be thankful, right? You know what? Things are kind of irritable, so I think I'll pray. That's not how it works, y'all. The reality is, what all the spiritual teachers tell us is that the thoughts that we think, the rehearsed narratives we have about anything and about ourselves are prayers. Whoa. Whoa. Did y'all get that? And when you were growing up, I didn't get that. I didn't know that the prayers were the thoughts you think over and over again. If you think about a prayer, it's like, I hope this works out. Yep, I'm praying for it. It's going to work out. That prayer is no different than, oh my goodness, is this going to work out? I think I paid that bill. What about this? That's a prayer. It's the same pocket of energy. We just label it something different. I'm here to offer that in the same way that sometimes, we're a little bit hungry. That's when things are good. That's when all is well. That's when we feel content, when we allow ourselves to feel happy. In that pocket of grace, we feel it. And I'm here to offer that even in those spaces, especially in those spaces. We were talking about life visioning by Michael Beckwith. The final stage of manifestation is gratitude. So if we want to create more, that's the where it is, in that state of gratitude. But what happens is, while we're in the gratitude, y'all, we just kind of we waffle in it. We're concerned that we don't want to be too happy because it's only going to be for a short while, right? We try to forgive ourselves for being too happy. We don't tell people about the good stuff that's happening around us. We don't want to seem like we're boasting, so we kind of hold on to it, right? There's a happiness, but we don't want to be too happy. But in that space of happiness, that's where the most potent creation is. But what we do is we silence it. And then when it's been an okay week, yeah, I think I'll go to Unity. Sure, why not? Have you been meditating? No. I'll get to it. I'm just so busy. And then the boom happens. I don't know how this is going to work out. So it was on the other end, in that gratitude, that our creation was in the pocket, but in this space of created separation, what feels like a prayer is just going up to the ceiling and bouncing back down to us. Right? Guess what, y'all? We got a superpower. Quiz. Y'all know I'm a teacher. Quiz. What do we do when we feel stuck? Where do we go? So we're in this pocket of, oh my goodness, maybe you gotta be reminded of your inherent divinity. Maybe you're just not there yet. What do you do when you're in this pocket of, oh my goodness, how is this gonna work out? How do you get to that other space of gratitude? What are some of the steps we can take? Gary, help me out. What do you do? That was perfect. It was unrehearsed. I just said Gary. Thank you, Gary. That's what it is. All the spiritual teachers tell us surrender. Surrender. That's it. How crazy is that, y'all? Surrender. I started our time together talking about Tasha Silver and detachment, right? That is surrender. Thank you, Gary. When you say, you know what? That's when it works out. You let go of the control. We released the preferences. We released how we thought it should have went. We let go of that relationship. We let go of all the stuff that we had, because remember, it was bound up in preferences. We had it look a certain way. It was tightly wound a certain way because that desire was intense enough, we started binding it with desire. But guess what? Thank you, Gary. When we surrender, we can allow the universe to do its work. And when I say allow the universe to do its work, because we are expressions of that divine, we are also doing that work. That surrender is work. That release is work. Can we take that in? We're going to move into meditation. And what I'm offering us to do is to ask a question. What must I surrender to allow space for my greater good? Is it control, y'all? Is it a preference for how we think it should be? Is it I should be treated this way? I deserve that promotion? Do they know who I am? Whatever the preference is, we're going to release that. But more importantly, we're going to ask ourselves, because we know in unity, not just unity, the spiritual community, but in unity with Source, we have the answer to every question we seek. Every question we seek in that still small voice. So we're going to take into meditation, a brief meditation. We're going to take a cleansing breath. And we're going to ask our innermost truth, what must I surrender to make space for my greater good? What must I surrender to make space for my greater good? We're going to take a cleansing breath. And we're going to release. And in your mind's eye, I want whatever that thing is to just fall out of your mouth. It could be barely audible, but we're going to speak the word to what will be surrendered. Let it fall out of your mouth. It could barely be audible. It could be just for you. What are you surrendering? It is out. And what I want us to do is, I want you to raise your hands like this. We are transmuting. Can you repeat after me? We are transmuting that which no longer serves us into vitality for our greater good. And here's the important part, y'all. It is done. It is done. Can y'all smile on that? It's done. Thank you, Toya.
All right, this is a Karen Jorka. I think it's appropriate. Let go off the shore. And let the water carry you. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the the shore, float into the mystery.
At this time, I invite you to
No
stand.
need to make a plan. Your heart will be your compass.
And we're going to allow these words to be the words of our heart.
Lift your sails in faith and trust that you will arrive.
We're going to let go and trust it, y'all.
Ooh, let the water carry you. Float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore. Float into the mystery. Let go of the shore. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Yeah. Into the mystery.
We're shifting gears into offering, and we're acknowledging that our offering is an extension of our service. So as we prepare our offering, it's important that we see this as a seed of growth and expansion. So if we could take our offering, whatever it is, spiritual gifts, time gifts, and we want to say aloud about our offerings, we bless this.
We bless this.
We see this
We see this.
feeding our community called Gainesville.
Feed in our community called Gainesville.
May it nourish us and grow into this outpicturing.
Grow into this out picture.
And so it is. Thank you.
No need to make a plan. Your heart will be your compass. Lift your sails in faith. Trust that you will arrive. Let go of the shore. Float into the mystery.
All right, Miss Gwen, we got some visitors.
We have one. Well, I want you to meet our new best friend, Olive. Say hi, Olive. Olive did great. I don't know how Mom did. And as you can see, we have some special glasses. And when we put these special glasses on, we see only love. Our story was about the Good Samaritan and how the Good Samaritan saw only love in the man that was hurt.
Thank you so much, Miss Gwen. Hey, Olive, welcome. All right, y'all. So, Destiny, what we do here, we do a special blessing for our children. And so, just repeat after me. Children.
Children,
You are perfect just the way you are.
you are perfect just the way you are.
The divine,
The divine,
magnificent,
magnificent,
outpicturing of source.
outpicturing of source.
Olive loves it. Everything you desire is yours
Everything you desire is yours.
because you and God are one.
Because you and God are one. We love you. We really, really love you. Mwah!
All right, y'all, let's circle up.
Oh my goodness. Peace song. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. Let there be peace on earth and let Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.